What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Week 9 preview and prediction podcast. Josh is joining me today, and we're just gonna break down every game on Week 9. We're not gonna talk about the Thursday night game because one, that's already happened. Two, it was not the most exciting game to preview in general, and we just couldn't fit it into the schedule.
But we do have to shout out Jonathan Taylor for going absolutely mayhem tonight.
Yeah. The game's not even completely over, and this dude just broke like an 80-yard touchdown run. He's doing things that there's only one guy. Well, I can't say one guy. There's only maybe two or three guys at that position that can do, and that being break routinely, not routinely, but he's consistently popping off 40, 50-yard runs, and touchdown to the house, like 70 yards. He's done this on multiple occasions. One of them was a reception against, I think, the Ravens or whatever. But the point is, in our league, my home league, he's got 36 points. He's got 18 carries. So still yet to have a 20-carry game. He might get there in this one because I think there's it's still in the third quarter, a minute left in the third quarter. But he's got 18 carries for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's also caught both of his targets for 28 yards. So he's got 36 points, and let's just say he's doing his thing.
Yeah, he is.
With Derrick Henry out, this guy, if I was to re-rank running backs from now, for the rest of the season, he'd easily be the RB1.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see this coming. I know you were high on him all preseason, so kudos.
I'm not mad about what's going on with him. And right. Hey, I started Michael Carter right now, and I think that he's about to start getting a lot more catches. Right now, he's got 9 carries for 36 yards, so he's still averaging 4 yards a carry. And again, they're getting completely smeared in. And he also has 1 catch for 37 yards, which earlier it said that was for 18. I don't know maybe they just messed up or whatever. But the point is, he's already got 10 touches, and again, it's in a game where game flow is not, to their advantage. But anyways, let's get into the breakdowns. Let's, start with the Falcons Saints, since that's at the top of our list here.
Yeah, Falcons Saints.
Yeah, so
start us off.
The 3-4 Falcons visiting the 5-2 New Orleans Saints, and this is a team. There's always teams like this that start to show you who they are around mid to 3/4 of the way through the season. That's what the Saints are doing right now. They're 5-2, so that record alone would have you say, hey, they got to be pretty good, right? And they're coming off of a victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's anytime anybody beats the Bucs, that's a good feather in the cap. So,
well, Jameis tore his ACL.
Yeah,
so.
And they still won.
Yeah,
and
but who's going to start in this one? If you were to say...
They haven't revealed that.
I know, but if you were to guess, Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian?
I would say Trevor Siemian just because I just feel like that's going to happen. But I think that here's the reason really why I believe that to be true. Number one, Siemian played pretty well, right? He played winning football in that game when he came in. But the main reason, is because I think they know Taysom Hill's not the long-term answer. Not to say Trevor Siemian is, but with the lack of weapons they have, now we know Michael Thomas out for the year. I think that it makes more sense for Taysom Hill to be a weapon,
right?
For someone else at quarterback.
Yeah, because he's got that run game that he's got to his advantage as well.
Exactly. Yeah, so they can use him in a variety of ways, and they need him. They need someone else to throw the ball to, maybe someone else to hand the ball off to, someone else to use that wrinkle in the offense where he comes in, plays quarterback, and it's either a wildcat, whatever. So that, to me, is why I think it'll be Siemian. And also, we don't even know if Taysom Hill's ready to play yet from the injury. I think didn't he have a concussion or something like that? Yeah, so we don't exactly know. It looks like he's trending towards playing. But in any case, I would start Siemian. I've been on record for multiple years now saying that I think Trevor Siemian is a decent, maybe even starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. Like maybe on the low end, maybe not quite Jared Goff, like somebody in that range.
Yeah.
If you had Trevor Siemian with Sean McVay for the previous 5 seasons, I think he would have been a viable starter.
He was upgraded to full practice today, so.
Okay. That's a good sign for him.
Yeah, I think he's I don't know. I think if he's fully healthy, they're going to start him.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's definitely
just because I feel like he's,
he's probably a little bit better at quarterback, I would say. But
and he probably knows the playbook a lot more than Trevor Siemian does.
Okay, so here's what I was thinking when I was preview and just kind of getting my thoughts together about this game before the podcast, I was thinking about it like this, right? The Falcons, before last week when they lost to the Panthers, right? We were talking about, hey, this team has quietly won 3 of 4. They're kind of better than we all thought. Matt Ryan's playing good football. He had like 10 touchdowns to 1 pick over that 4-game stretch, if I'm remembering that correctly. The point is, the Saints now are, so the Falcons have a bad loss to the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my Panthers. Then the Saints have a huge win, last second pick 6 against the Bucs, right? Isn't this a classic get right / letdown spot? Not going to say I'm picking the Falcons just yet. I'm just saying, like, that would be something that to me makes some sense. It's sort of similar to the Jets win over the Bengals last week, where since he's coming off a huge win against the Ravens, they claimed the number, I think it was 1 seed in the AFC, definitely in the AFC North. They finally beat the Ravens, all this and that. And the Jets the previous week had gotten dismantled 54-13 by the Patriots, and then all of a sudden it was the roll. It was just a weird kind of thing, and that's what happens in pro football, because the worst team and the best team, there's not a gap like this. It's still always relatively close. You know what I mean? So, so for that reason, I think the Falcons have a fighting chance. The spread in this game, the Saints are 7-point favorites. The over/under is 42, so that's kind of a low over/under for a typical Falcons-Saints game. But the way I look at it is this, though, and this is really the easiest way I have to break it down. The Saints are better everywhere except at quarterback, right? And that is, objectively speaking, that's the most valuable position in all of sports, right? So I think that's where the Falcons have a chance. And the Saints, their defense played well last week overall, I guess, but where they didn't play so well is they allowed a bunch of passing yards.
Yeah.
So they're the best run defense in the NFL from a yards per carry allowed standpoint, but if you're telling me that, they can be thrown on, Matt Ryan maybe could throw on them, a little bit. So that part of it, it's all about if the Falcons can protect them, and they weren't able to.
Well, having
last week.
Calvin Ridley out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his future holds, but Kyle Pitts in this game could.
They're going to need him.
Yeah, they are. And I think he potentially has a big game here because, he's pretty much all they have. So, but I also ultimately think that the Saints win this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Saints, I just trust their coach pedigree formula.
Right.
And I think the Falcons, I think they overachieved a little bit over that, especially that 4-game stretch where they went 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Saints win a close one, 21-20. That's actually the under in the Falcons cover. I do kind of like the Falcons to cover, considering it's 7 points.
Yeah, I mean, it is at home in New Orleans. I think, obviously, if Taysom Hill plays, Saints all day.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's talk about the Denver Broncos, the 4-4 Broncos at the 6-1 Dallas Cowboys. Should we go?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, see, my thing is about going to games, I'd rather watch all the games like at home, rather than just go watch
depends.
One. Yeah, it definitely depends. We'll keep that feather in our cap maybe for a playoff game. We'll see. But anyways, 4-4 Broncos at the 6-1 Cowboys. Dallas is a 10-point favorite. The over/under 49.5, which I thought was pretty damn high.
Yeah, there's not much to say about this game. Dak's back.
Is he officially going to be back or whatever?
Yeah.
Probably so.
He's coming back, and CeeDee Lamb might be out of this one, but we have Cedric Wilson. We're good.
Cedric Wilson's looked really fucking good.
And, there's not much to say about this one. The Cowboys are going to roll 100% at home.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. The Broncos they have the weirdest season so far. They've had the weirdest season.
They just lost Von Miller.
They were 3-0, then they lost 4 straight, and then they won a game. So now they're 4-4. It's the weirdest 4-4 you'll ever see. Yes, and they did just lose Von Miller, so they're not going to touch Dak. But what I will say is this over/under has me intrigued. 49.5, right? That's coming against a Bronco defense that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
And it's all even without Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming directly after the Dak Prescott-less Cowboys played a game in Minnesota where the combined point scored in that game were just 36. Now, I know that was without Dak, but, like, I happen to think both of these defenses are pretty good. So, to me, I could see this game being like a 27-13 game, in which case that would be the under.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I think – I don't – how many points do you think the Broncos scored in this game? Let me just say that.
17.
Yeah. I don't think they'd crack 20. I don't think they get more than 20.
Maybe.
And that would mean, do you think Dallas scores 30 against them? I don't know. They definitely can, but
yeah. I mean, I would say between 30 and 40, but more realistically, I'd say like 28.
Yeah, and that's right where I've got them kind of like I think 28-20 is kind of the max in terms of like
unless
where
either
the team can
it's
score.
just an onslaught like tonight.
And here's the thing, though. How do you want to attack the Broncos defense? In my opinion, you want to run at them.
Yeah,
right?
of
So
course.
this would be a heavy dose of the run kind of game, and Dallas can beat you in any way you need to, or any way they need to. So to me, I think this is a big game for Pollard and Zeke. I think they're going to just relentlessly pound the rock. They're going to have a lead. They're not going to let Teddy Bridgewater do a whole bunch of, much. And I think they're going to cruise to a victory here. I'm going to say it's going to be, let's just say 27-17. I take them. I guess that's a push regarding the point spread there, and that would be the under.
I mean, I think I'm gonna go 35-17.
You just said they were going to score more.
I know. I want them to score.
Yeah. Okay, 35-17.
Yeah.
So you're saying they cover, and that would make it the over, though.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the under in this one. I'm not banging the table for the under. I could see it going over just because Dallas can score so many points, and then they may allow some garbage time points or whatever.
With that back, I mean, Amari Cooper has a big opportunity to go off in this game with CeeDee Lamb out. I think it's going to be a good fantasy day for all of the skill players for the Cowboys, at least, between Dak, Zeke, and Amari. Even Dalton Schultz could have a little.
I'm starting him in my flex. In our league, I got Mike Gesicki and Dalton Schultz as my Gesicki's my tight end.
He's
Dalton Schultz is my flex.
Definitely a good play this week. On the other side of the ball, Jerry Jeudy's back.
I like that because
he played 72% of the snaps last week, and it will most likely increase those this week. So,
we'll get into the start sit stuff in the next pod. So stay tuned. It's coming very shortly after. But we both like the Cowboys. I think it's safe to say. I don't necessarily know that they cover, although I don't see Denver covering. I see that, I guess, as a push. I said 27-17 Dallas. You go 35-17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the 4-4 Patriots are going to visit the 4-4 Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers, as I've compared them all year long, I've been calling the Panthers the Broncos of the NFC and the Broncos the Panthers of the AFC. And look, they sit here at 4-4 after hot starts. Like, that might have been my most money early season, like, read, if you will, so far. But anyways, the Patriots, get this, on the road. Remember, this is in Carolina. The Patriots are 4-point favorites on the road. That is, to me, pretty fucking bonkers.
I mean,
and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think that it's highly respectful of the Patriots, and it's very disrespectful of the home team.
I mean, they're just not playing good football at all.
This means, well, they came back last week and beat the Falcons in Atlanta, a team that was riding a heater. You know?
But I mean, New England they're playing well right now.
Oh, yeah. They've dismantled the Jets, and then they went into L.A. and beat the Chargers. No, I get it. But here's the thing about what you have to understand about this. The home team always gets 3 points, right? So that means if this game was in New England, Vegas would have the Patriots as 7-point favorites. I think it's a bit high.
Right.
I would imagine that would be like 5.5 or something like that if it were in New England, you know? Or 4 even, 4.5. Anyways, so the over-under is 41. That much I like in terms of like that's probably where I would have put it, you know, as far as that goes. Because I don't really see Mac Jones lighting up this Panther defense, and I definitely don't see Sam Darnold if he even plays. Is Darnold playing? I don't see Darnold lighting up.
No, he's not.
I don't see whoever. He's definitely not playing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that maybe he'd be okay. No, he's questionable. He got in another limited practice. He's got the shoulder, in addition to the concussion, he's got the shoulder thing going on. So, anyways, so look, Stephon Gilmore revenge game. We could go that route if we wanted to. I'm not going to, but just thought I'd bring that up because Gilmore had the game's sealing interception last week.
Right.
The Panthers defense last week was back. They got out. I mentioned Matt Ryan was getting sacked like one every 35 pass attempts over that 4-game stretch. They got him I think 3, maybe even 4 times. They intercepted him a couple times. It was not the same Matt Ryan that we had seen over the previous month of the season, and that was in Atlanta, in a relatively big game, because now the Panthers have a lead over the Falcons in that final playoff spot. The Falcons had a real opportunity there to get themselves a lead for the 7th seed. They had a chance to make the playoffs. They still do. But in any case,
yeah, this was actually supposed to be a Cam Newton revenge game.
I know, man.
Just imagine.
Shit, we can sign Cam. It can be a revenge game in the reverse fashion.
Yeah.
Let's go. Down for that. I know all my Panther fans are totally down for that as well. Not even being sarcastic. They all want Cam back. They love it. But that's not going to happen. Sorry. Here's the problem I see for the Panthers in this game. Where has been the one area on their defense that's been kind of the kink in the armor? Generally speaking, it's been the run game. The Cowboys gashed them, had 200 yards, averaged 7 yards a carry in that game. The Dalvin Cook had his way against them. There have been times, and it's not been all the time because early in the season the run D was amazing.
Right.
But there have been times where they've been gashed in that regard. They're playing against the Patriots offensive line and running game that will run you the fuck over.
Damon Harris
can't stop them.
Playing good right now.
And Damon Harris almost had like a 50-point fantasy game last week. He had a couple runs called back. And he still had a pretty good game. Carried 23 times. He's a true bell cow there, and I love that they're using him in that way.
They're getting Brandon Bolden more involved here recently. Yeah. I mean, someone's got to fill the shoes of James White. So
Nelson Aguilar starting to be the field stretcher that they hoped he would be when they signed him. Even though they still overpaid for him, in my humble opinion. But they've got a nice kind of balance of weapons. It's a real traditional Patriots offense, and aside from the greatest quarterback of all time being there. But I think I like the Patriots in this game. I feel like I'm always picking against my team. But, man, I said it before a few weeks ago. I said it in the beginning of the season when I picked them to make the playoffs. I didn't think they would win the division. But something I left out on this morning's podcast, guys, is I talked about 5 teams this morning that I think will have strong finishes to the season. The Patriots were one of those teams, and I said maybe they won't win the division. Well, here's the thing. They haven't played the Bills yet. That means, let's just say both teams are winning, right? They get to control their own. They might be able to control their own destiny against Buffalo with 2 games against them, because right now I think they're a game and a half behind them. So keep that in mind. Still a bit of a long shot, but nothing is impossible. Belichick has got these guys playing football. I don't think the Panthers' offense is going to be able to skip. I don't think they're going to score more than 17 points against the Patriots, and I think New England wins it 20-17. I'll say Patriots win. Panthers cover, though.
Well,
that's the under 2.
If C-Mac is back, obviously he's probably not back this week, but say he is back, I think they have a really good chance to win this game.
I just don't see how they're going to score even with C-Mac back. And the reason I say that is because what's Belichick notorious for? He's notorious for taking away your best option. In other words, he's not going to let C-Mac and he's not going to let DJ Moore beat you. He's going to make you throw to Robbie Anderson. And the efficiency of throwing to Robbie Anderson would maybe be higher if I were playing in place of Robbie Anderson. Yeah. He's a good player, just for whatever reason it's not working this year.
Right. And obviously C-Mac's been out for these games, so he's probably got some rust to
and they match it, and it might be a limited role C-Mac, so that may not even be necessarily the greatest thing. Also,
if C-Mac plays, it's close, but I think it's close.
I think it's definitely close.
I think the Patriots win this game.
Yeah, I think they win it too, man. I just don't. Again, the Patriots, to me, their defense matches up really well with the Panthers' offense, and their offense sort of matches up okay as long as they don't get in positions where they have to pass if they're behind against the sticks and things like that.
Yeah,
that might be an issue because the Panther pass rush and that will be after them. The secondary is very good there. I think the Panthers secondary matches up very well against the Patriots receivers, but I think that we're going to see a whole bunch of runs and a whole bunch of hard play action. Get those linebackers sucked up. Let Mac Jones fire it into a nice little zone in between the linebackers, safeties, etc. I think that's kind of what you're going to see from New England. I think they'll be able to run the ball efficiently. I trust their offense a little bit more, and I trust the way that their defense matches up against what is still a struggling Panthers offense. So I'm taking the Pats 20-17. That's the under. That's a Panthers cover. And, Patriot money line.
Yep, Patriots.
All right, cool. So we have the 3-4 Vikings at the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens coming off bye in this one.
Yeah, and I remember my guy, Spenny Powers, at Ravens for Dummy on Twitter.
This might be a trap game.
It could be, but he shared with us 2 weeks ago after the Ravens lost to the Bengals. He shared with us John Harbaugh's record. Is it John or Jim? John Harbaugh, right?
Yeah.
John Harbaugh's record after the bye and record before the bye. It's abysmal before and it's great after. Can't remember the exact numbers, but I don't think this, because they just got beat down in Baltimore by Cincinnati. Then they've been steaming in their bye week thinking about it. Marlon Humphrey's sitting there like, man, I gave up whatever it was, 200 yards or whatever. I don't think this is a trap game. I could see that happening. Like in my survivor pool, I'm not going to pick the Ravens here because I got the Bills over the Jaguars, which we'll talk about later. But I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to come out and handle business. I do think it'll be close, though. Yeah, because I respect the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like we said, John Harbaugh coming off bye. Obviously, everyone's rested, ready to go. Coming off their loss, their shocking, disappointing loss to the Bengals, who have made that division close now. But yeah, and it's at home in Baltimore.
Check this out. The Ravens are 6-point favorites, which I think is a fair number.
Mm-hmm.
The over-under, guess the over-under without looking. Just what would you say a over-under in this game should be like?
55.
Wow, that's high. Okay, it's 50. But here's why that screws with my head. Okay, let me pull up the. Remember, guys, I've been pounding the drum. I don't want to say pounding the drum. I want to say I've been kind of just mentioning and letting people know that even though the Vikings gave up 60 points in the first 2 weeks of the season, they haven't been that team since. Now, they did give up technically 28 to Carolina, but it wasn't a real 28. It was more like 14. It was a nice drive at the end of the game by Sam Darnold. Other than that, he really didn't do shit against them. He had an awful game. It was a fumble and a block kick, if I remember correctly, that really put them in scoring position. So, if you look at what they've done since those first two games, they've allowed 17 points, 14 points, 17 points, 28 to Carolina, which really, again, is, I think, 14 is more indicative of what they actually gave up, and then 20 to Dallas. And I know there was no Dak there, but still, that's a pretty damn good defense. So you're telling me the Baltimore Ravens, who, oh, by the way, let me go tell you what they've given up. And now we're not going to hold too much against them, the 41 they gave up to Cincy, because that was a lot of just at the end of the game kind of thing. But look at what they did before that. They allowed 6 points to the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed 25 to the Colts, but that was a situation where Colts get a big lead and then blah, blah, blah. And it was also because of that long fumble recovery return. Point is, 7 points the week before that, 17 the week before that. Okay, and they gave up a lot to Kansas City, 35 and 33 in week one, but they were for like a little over a month stretch from weeks 3 through 6. They looked like the best defense in football. Okay, so what does that tell us? We've got two, I would say, very good defenses, right? And I don't know if there's going to be a bunch of points scored in this game. Like Baltimore's really good against the run, or they're at least, they're pretty good against the run. The Vikings, and I know they fell apart against the Bengals against the run, but that was really just fatigue, I think. And
I mean, if Baltimore comes in clicking on all cylinders, they could score.
It could be a massacre. You're right. But even if it's a massacre, I think it's a 30-13 game or something like that. And again, what I'm trying to say is I like the under in this game. I do. I think that I don't see a shootout coming here. I think Baltimore's going to mean business. They're going to play a hard 60 minutes, so I think you'll have a less of an opportunity for that, like, garbage time Kirk Cousins to kind of like try and bring them back late. I think that if they get off to a big lead, it'll be like the Chargers game. You know what I mean? In my opinion,
I think it could almost push, because if I were to predict, I think obviously the Ravens 30-20.
Okay, I mean that's fair. And that would be a Baltimore cover and a push on the over-under. So maybe he's saying don't touch the over-under. I get that. I'm going to take the Ravens to win a game. I'm going to say 28-17. I think they comfortably win the game. They cover, but I do like the under a little bit in this one. All right, let's talk some Cleveland Browns. And Browns fans are frustrated. They're 4-4. Everybody was so excited just a few short weeks ago. Browns are 4-4. They're going at the Cincinnati Bengals, the 5-3 Bengals coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Jets, which, oh my God, you were up by 10 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Or was it 11? Whatever it was in the fourth quarter. Okay,
This is an important game for
it's
Cleveland.
huge. It's
for their playoff hopes.
For both teams, it's huge, right?
I mean,
because
this is the division's close. I think
Baltimore's
2 of them
back ahead of the Bengals now.
Yeah.
They're a half a game ahead of them.
Yeah, they have 2 of them have 5 wins, and the other bottom 2 have 4 wins. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah. So, okay. So check this out. Cincinnati's a 2.5-point favorite. Over under 47 in this one. It's a little bit high to me. Man, am I like fucked up? Do I think every over under is high?
yeah, I think so.
I just like always gravitate towards that. But in this one, it's probably a fair one. Let me just say that, okay?
I mean, Baker is 5-1 against the Bengals in his career, so he kind of has a little bit of an edge there.
But these ain't those Bengals, baby.
Yeah, you're right. But listen, Odell's out this week.
Odell's out forever. He's never playing for him again.
Yeah, right. And guess what?
That's
Baker,
a good thing.
yeah, Baker always seems to play better, when Odell is not on the field. And for that, I think Landry has a good game in this one.
I agree.
Baker's going to have to throw it. So, I mean, it could be a good game for him, but like you said, this is a different Bengals team. They're at home.
Oh, preach. I'm actually going to totally agree with you. I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah.
And let me explain why. Okay, both of these teams are very good against the run. Their defenses can both stop the run. They don't even allow 4 yards a carry. I think Cleveland's tied for the best in terms of yards per carry, led at 3.5. Cincinnati's not far behind them, allowing just 3.9 yards a carry. Okay, the Browns, they can run on anybody. Okay, it's just that simple. So they're going to be able to run more effectively, in my opinion, than the Bengals will be able to. I don't think Cincy can run the ball at all against Cleveland. And here's the other part of it, right? So that's one thing. Then you look straight towards the how can Cincinnati pass against Cleveland? Well, here's the problem. What did we see last week when they played the Jets, right? We saw Joe Burrow not be able to really run the ball consistently, right? And then what did we see as a result of that? They're all over his ass, right? The pass rush is there, and that was the Jets. These Cleveland Browns have been rushing the passer at a very effective level. Now, I think Jamar Chase could have a big game. I think T. Higgins could have a big game, but I think it'll look in some ways like the Jets game last week where Burrow is just going to be under fire. So he's going to get some big plays, but he's going to be sacked, and they're going to be playing in a lot of long yard, second and longs, third and longs, I think. And that could lead to some turnovers, whereas I think Cleveland is going to come out and say, hey, Odell's not playing. That means we're a more efficient offense, sadly enough, for whatever the reason is regarding all that stuff. And it also means to me that who's the more desperate team here? I think Cleveland is.
Cleveland is. And they've been in a rut in the last recent 3 games. I think they've, put up 41 points in the last 3 games.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
But look, man, it seems like every time Baker Mayfield has a lull like this and everybody's starting to, he's not that guy, it seems like that's right when Baker's going to come out and make some big plays. And
yeah, I think they have a great chance to win this game.
I'm taking them to win. I think they win at 24. No. I'm going to say 27-24 Browns. What's that? That's the over. So look at that. I do like the over.
Yeah.
Who you like?
I like the Browns.
Wow.
I'm going to take the Browns on the road. Like I said, they've been in a rut, but I think they get back with the cancer off the field, a.k.a. Odell.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like the Browns. It's going to be a close one. 28-27.
Wow. Okay, so he likes the over as well.
Yeah, because they're going to score. I mean, Joe Burrow is going to score. Jamar Chase, of course, is going to get in the end zone again, as he has every other game.
It is what it is.
Or every game, not every other game. But, yeah. I like the Browns in this one.
All right, so I agree. So let's talk about the next game, which is the Buffalo Bills, the 5-2 Bills. It feels like they should be like super undefeated, but they've lost twice. And they're visiting the 1-6 Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
The spread in this one is 14.5.
It's going to be an onslaught.
Yeah, and the over-under is 48.5. So when I was writing this down, okay, because I'm old school, I write everything down in my notebooks. I got like dozens of notebooks with just random stats written down, all this kind of stuff. But look, man, I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to score points, right? And
Yeah.
also,
They're scoring over 40.
The Buffalo Bills don't allow points, okay? I'm taking them in my survivor pool. I've decided. Although some of you said I shouldn't take them, I'd really like you to DM me and tell me why.
Yeah.
Except,
they're a complete shoo-in with a 14
and a half
spread.
point cover, yeah. So here was my thought right away, right, when I saw the over-under at 48.5. How many points does Trevor Lawrence score in this game? Before you answer, let me tell you a couple little nuggets on that, okay? Last week, after a bye week against the Seattle Seahawks, in Seattle, so yeah, he scored 7 points. Right? Jacksonville has scored 21 or fewer points in 6 of their 7 games. 21 or fewer. And when they scored more than that, I think they only scored 23. So it wasn't like that. That's their season high after damn near half a season is 23 points. The Bills allow the fewest points per game, or they're like top 3 if that changed over the bye week, whatever. So to me, I think that let me just double check that. Did the Bills change? No, Buffalo's allowing 15.6 points a game. Let me ask you a question, and I'm going to post this onto my Instagram story in a minute. Over-under points for Jacksonville in this game. 17.
Under.
So you're thinking they score 14?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think they actually make to 14? No, I'm not being an asshole.
It could be.
Buffalo's allowing 15.
Yeah, they could score a touchdown and kick 2 field goals.
Okay, so then 13, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if the touchdown comes later, they go for 2, they get 14. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of with you. I don't think there's any way they score more than 17 points in this one.
And I know Trevor Lawrence has been getting a little bit better every game, but
did you see him last week? He got smashed.
Well, if he got smashed last week, per se, then he's definitely going to get smashed this week.
Bro, he averaged 4 yards an attempt last week.
Yeah, okay, that's not good.
He's having, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this shit, because I'll tell you right now, guys, hold me to this, and I hope that you look at me this way, because I've tried to always be this way. If Trey Lance was playing like Trevor Lawrence, right? If everything that Trevor Lawrence has done was Trey Lance, I'd say the same thing. I wouldn't say that I give up on him. I'm not, the mainstream media that does that kind of like, they're not my Super Bowl team anymore. What I am saying, though, is I have to tell you like I see it, and the guy is not playing well at all. Now, I know some of you right now are thinking, but he doesn't have any help. I disagree. I think the kid Agnew's a pretty good little player. Marvin Jones, a solid player. Dan Arnold's a solid tight end. The offensive line's actually pretty decent. Well, James Robinson's a pretty damn good football player. You know what I mean? Laviska Shenault, some of you guys were super high on him, not me, but some of you were. And then DJ Shark before the injury, was there as well. So I don't think that he's had a Josh Rosen supporting cast as a rookie.
No, I think he has a horrible coach. So that plays.
I never liked that coach to begin with. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree there. So when you look at Buffalo, though, they're coming off a disappointing loss and then a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrong time for Jacksonville to draw this one. It's like
just imagine if this game was at home, what the spread would be.
It would be 21 or some shit. It would be like 19
it's
or
incredible.
It would be like 17 or something, 17 and a half. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just end the misery here for Jags fans. I'm sorry, guys. Don't worry. The future's hopefully going to be brighter at some point. But
does James Robinson play in this game?
I'm not sure. And if he does, Buffalo's giving up the fewest points to the running back position. So it's not a great week to have to start him, because you're going to have to start him. But in any case, I'm going to take the Bills, and I'm going to take them to win 35-10.
I'm saying 45-14.
Okay, so you like the over and the Bills to cover. I like the under and the Bills to cover. What else is new? I'm just addicted to unders. I don't get it. All right, 1-7 Houston Texans at the 1-7 Miami Dolphins. The game of the week by
Somebody's going to have to win this game.
This
could very well be a tie.
Right? Miami, and get this is kind of blew me away. Tyrod Taylor is playing. So before I tell you the spread, understand Tyrod Taylor
is back.
Who played really well in his first. He only played about a game and a half, the first game, and then half of the second one against Cleveland. He's played very well this season, right?
Yeah.
He's back.
And he's
Guess
back.
who's the favorites? Miami's the favorite by 5.5 points. By 5.5.
They are at home.
Yeah. Which means...
Yeah, and they're 0-3 at home.
Yeah. So, but they're, legitimately, they think they are the favorites. So,
I mean, like I said, nobody should be a favorite. This should be a coin flip.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But 5.5 is a pretty strong, pretty aggressive move. I would love, what bet I would love is to tease the Texans. Now, you know what? Actually, I could see the Dolphins smoking them. Now that I think about it, if that Dolphins, here's the thing.
If Tua gets going, I mean,
I'm not worried about Tua. What I'm worried about is the Dolphin defense, and let me tell you why. Because as of late, am I wrong here? Oh, yeah, I'm not correct. Okay, so I thought the defense was playing better as of late. They're allowing 26 a game over their last 3. Well, was I just hallucinating or thinking that? But I thought they'd been playing better defensively lately. Let me go check real quick. So they allowed just 26 points to Buffalo, which Buffalo was the highest scoring team in the league, and they didn't get those points until late. It was a struggle. Then they allowed 30 to Atlanta, so that's kind of rough. Yeah, I suppose that the Dolphin defense still isn't. I mean, okay, they had one decent game, and it was against Buffalo. That's not Buffalo's not coming off a bye week. Then I misspoke earlier. Buffalo is coming off of the bye week the week before. Then they beat up on the Dolphins, and now they're going to beat up on the Jags. So, anyways, it doesn't change a whole lot for Jags fans, unfortunately. But I think that Houston is going to be competitive if Tyrod Taylor can play the way he was before the injury.
Miami should roll against this Houston defense.
Yeah, the Houston defense is not a very good defense, guys.
They are bad.
Do you know there's a guy on their team? Who is he, damn it? I really liked before the draft, and
they just traded away Charles Omenihu, too. So.
Yeah, and it's because of my guy. I can't remember his freaking name now. What's his name? He has 7 sacks. He's a second-year player for them. I was super high on him. I think I had a first-round grade on him before. Let me look at I'll keep talking. I'll find the Texans depth chart because it's really bothering me. Oh, Jonathan
Greenard.
Greenard, yeah. I had a first-round grade on him, and he is now playing like a man possessed with 7 sacks. Here's the thing, guys. When you are on a bad defense, right? So, if you were to say, well, he's all they have, of course he has 7 sacks. That's not how it works on the defensive side of the ball, right? Because when you're the only guy up there that's really getting consistent pressure, they're running the protection towards you. It makes it much more difficult for you to generate consistent pressure. Let me tell you why I'm even more excited about him. So he had 1 sack in week 1, okay? Then in week 2, he for some reason only played 25% of the snaps, didn't have any sacks, didn't have much of anything in that game. Maybe he was injured. I don't know. Oh, it was a 40-0 slobber knocker. That's right. Okay, so in week 3, he had a sack against the Patriots, right? He had 2 tackles for loss and a hit on the quarterback. Week 4, I'm sorry.
I mean,
he was injured the first 2 games. That's what happened. Okay, so he's even missed 2 games, and he's got 7 sacks. In his last 4 games, this guy has 6 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 7 hits on the quarterback. So even though offenses know he's the guy, he's still going off. So that to me tells me that he's a real fucking beast. You know what I mean? And he's playing like a beast. I mean, he has 8 pressures over his last 3 games as well.
Yeah,
so
Miami's already allowed 19 sacks this season. So
I think he's going to have another big game. And because of that, I think that, look, we saw the Texans defense at times this season. They've looked okay. It's not a good unit. I'm not going to say that. But when they played a guy like Trevor Lawrence, they had 3 picks. They went completely apeshit, right? They dominated him. I could see it going that way. Not to that extreme because Tua's not going to turn the ball over that much. But if Tyrod Taylor plays anywhere near what he was playing before the injury, I like the Texans to win. However, I think I'm taking Miami, but I'm not comfortable about it at all. I'll take the Dolphins 23-20, and the reason is just because I just feel like they're a lot more talented. You know what I mean? That's really they're just a lot more talented.
They are definitely more talented. They're starting to click a little bit on offense with Tua back from injury, him and Jalen Waddle and Gesicki, of course. I think the Dolphins win this game. And I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay. All right. I feel you. Well, yeah, we both like the Dolphins there. All right, now we got 5-2 Las Vegas Raiders at the 2-6 Giants. The Raiders are 3-point favorites. Over under in this one is 46.5. Now, let me ask you this: is the line, the Raiders being just 3-point favorites, and it's in New York, so that's on the road for them? Is the line respectful to the Giants? It's a little bit. I mean, the 2-6 Giants, right?
Yeah.
5-2 team going to a 2-6 team, and they're only 3-point favorites. So I think that shows that even Vegas is looking at this Giants roster. And shout out to Dave Gettleman, because I'm not a fan of hating on him. I'm a big fan of him as a GM. I think he's put a bunch of talented players on that roster. I think the issue for them is just execution and coach. It's coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that said, I could totally see this Giants defense dominate this game. I could see this. You know how Derek Carr had eventually every now and then had that kind of a clunker game where he throws a 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick, and it's just like one of those games. This could be that for them, for him.
I mean, it basically comes down to, you remember in the Chiefs game, they were dropping back in a zone.
Yeah, they're gonna do something similar.
Yeah, and if they do that in this game, I mean, they have a chance. They have
Absolutely.
a fighting chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking the Giants to win this game. This is my upset of the week, baby. Let's go. And yeah, maybe some of it might be with my heart, because I want to see my guy Dave Gettleman, who I respect so much. I want to see him actually, stop taking a beating at least for a week, have some type of relief. This also, the Giants did this last year, right? They started like 1-6, 1-7, whatever it was, and they almost made the playoffs. They were up there until the last game of the week, until Doug Peterson benched whoever they were that close, right? This might be, in their whole season last year, turned around with a win against the Seattle Seahawks. This might be that game for them. I really think that this could be the game where the Giants' whole season turns around and they maybe, string a few wins together here. I'm not saying they're going to go crazy. I think that they might. I think they're going to. I'll make a bold prediction for you right now. The Giants are going to win 8 games this year, at least. 8 games. They're 2-6. For them to win 8, they'd have to win 6 of their final 9. They have to go 6-3. I'm taking them to win 8. I'm taking it to start this week against the Raiders. I think Derek Carr has less than 220 yards passing. The Giants sack him 4 times. They don't allow shit on the ground. Breakout game for the New York Giants. I think they win the game 27-13. They win big. They win in dominant fashion. New York Football Giants, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as hopeful as that. I got the Raiders in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, Darren Waller's back from injury. Josh Jacobs is back from injury. I think Josh Jacobs has a big game in this one.
Josh Jacobs is back too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even better for me.
Yeah, he's back, and I think he has a good game. Question, Saquon, is he playing?
No. He's on the COVID list.
He's on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So he could play if he tests negative.
He tested
He's vaccinated
positive yesterday.
Yeah, well, he's got to test negative twice before Sunday.
How's he going to do that?
Well, he's vaccinated, so maybe.
But you can
maybe
still
speed up the process. I don't fucking know.
Let's not open that can of worms,
right?
Oh,
but yeah, I like the Raiders in this one. I think they eat.
Yeah, no, that's the right move. I'm just going with a little friskiness.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just going
6-3 is ambitious.
I'm going
for
intuition.
The Giants.
They did it last year. I think they have a better team this year. I think they'll do it this year too. And I think it starts this week. I think they have to win this week. I think they have to come out with some sense of real desperation. And if Joe Judge comes out there all lackadaisical and punts on 4th and inches from his own 42-yard line, like, fire him that day. Like, it's not time for that shit. It's time to go out there and let your nuts hang, like Dan Campbell did a couple weeks ago against the Rams. I know they got smoked last week against Philly, but it's time to fake punt, fake field. It's time to really get aggressive, and you have to steal possessions against a team like that, and your defense needs to come out and dominate, because I think on paper that Giants front versus that Raiders front, in terms of the Giants defensive line versus that Raiders offensive line, I think the Giants can manhandle them up front.
Yeah, come on, Joe Judge.
Absolutely
what the
manhandle
fuck are
them.
you doing?
It's time to stop fucking around and go win the damn game. A big game, a game you're not supposed to win, and start a run, okay?
Mic drop.
Don't get my guy Gettleman fired up. You pissed. Anyways, 4-3 Chargers at the 3-5 Eagles. So the Chargers are 2-point favorites in Philly. It's a respectful line towards Philadelphia, first of all.
Yeah.
And the over-under.
Philly's a tough place to play.
Absolutely. Over-under is 49.5, which I always feel is high. I don't know. It's whatever. Maybe I'm just delusional with my math. But last week, here's the most important thing. Real quick, before you, I guess I'm going to say, the Chargers allow the most rush yards per game on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, we saw the Eagles go something close to 46 carries for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm off by maybe 5 yards or a carry or 2. This, on paper, just that dynamic alone scares me. For the Chargers. What were you going to say?
I mean, I was just going to say, I was going to talk about Nick Sirianni, and he's back.
Yeah, that was how I envisioned the Eagles' offense looking.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pound the ball. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 14 times last week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's playing his former team this week, so. He was their assistant coach.
At one point in time.
Yeah.
I know he was at the Colts most recently, but yeah.
Yeah, he was their quarterback's coach and wide receivers coach. But yeah, I think they get back on track this week. Justin Herbert's kind of had a weird.
He's in a little bit of slump.
Yeah, he's kind of had a weird. 2 weeks, past 2 weeks. I don't know.
It's even been longer than that. Let me double check. I think it's been 3.
I think it's 2, maybe 3. But yeah, I think they get back on track on this one. Obviously, yeah, they're on the road. They're playing Philly, who could, any given Sunday win this game solely because of Jalen Hurts and, what he can do.
Yeah, it's just 2. You're right. I mean, because his third game ago, he had 398 yards and 4 touchdowns. So
yeah. So the last 2 weeks,
and a rushing touchdown.
He's been playing like shit. So.
Yeah, and that was to be fair, that was in Baltimore against the Ravens
Mm-hmm.
and then against the New England Patriots, who beat them 45-0 last year. So.
Right.
I'm not super concerned about Herbert. What I am concerned about is that run defense against this Philadelphia good offensive line. They have a couple of decent running backs. Boston Scott's an underrated player. I really like him.
They really need to run the ball in this one.
If they come out and fucking pound them on the ground, right, not try and go 45 passing. We have so much respect for Sean Payton, right? What has Sean Payton done this season? Jameis Winston has like 5 games where he attempted in the 20s, right? That's what you need Jalen Hurts to be doing right now. You need that so you can come out and go 50 runs, 40 runs combined with 10 for Jalen, 13 for Gainwell, 15 for Sanders when he comes back, maybe give Boston Scott a couple, whatever. The point is, I have a hot take. Boston Scott's better than Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, he is.
It's just better all around.
Yeah, I started Boston Scott last week, and he got me good 18 points, and he's only going to do even better this week.
Yeah,
going against the worst run D in football.
Matchup. It's a juicy matchup. But
yeah, not hot take at all. I think I 100% agree with that.
Okay. Well, for my prediction, I'm going with the Chargers here.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be 28-24. I'm going to say the Chargers win. They cover, and that is going to be – is that the over? That's the over.
I'm going Chargers 28-20.
Okay, so you like the under. All right, let's talk about and you like the Chargers to cover. 7-1 Packers at the 4-4 Chiefs. We were robbed of a great game, potentially, with Aaron Rodgers not playing.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is out in this one. Jordan Love.
I'm excited to see him play on the other side of the coin.
This will kind of see like where he's at in this offense.
It's almost a blessing in disguise because you're 7-1. A loss isn't going to be the end of the world. But however, do you know what would be huge for you, Green Bay fans? If he went in there, goes 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and beats Mahomes in Kansas City, then you'd be feeling a whole hell of a lot better about trading Aaron Rodgers. Like, even if it's just one game, I get it. Like, maybe 2. If he does that 2 weeks in a row, you'd be sitting there like, wow. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that would be a really good piece of mind.
I'm not saying that it's not possible, but, I mean, the Chiefs defense, as we know, is not playing very good ball right now. So
they're playing better lately.
So if Jordan Love just comes out and is who they say he is, and the predecessor to Aaron Rodgers, I mean this is a spot to prove it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, 100%. He's got to go out there and show what he's got. and just leave it all out on the field. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't expect to start this game, or even playing this game yet start, and here we are. He could potentially go in there and get a dub, but it's gonna be close.
The Jets have made this game interesting. It's 45-30, and they're in the red zone. Anyways, let me say one thing about the Chiefs' defense that people have been shitting on. Over the last 3 games, they're allowing just 19 points a game. So from that standpoint, that maybe things are starting to trend up. I thought, and I still think, as I mentioned in yesterday's podcast, I think they're going to be better defensively from this point on. I think they're just good. They have talent there. They really do. And so if you look at their run defense, which is somewhere you would say, hey, they allow 4.6 yards a carry on the season. Green Bay is one hell of a rushing offense, yada, yada, yada. Well, the last 3 games, and keep in mind, in one of these games they played against Derrick Henry, they've only allowed 3.6 yards a carry, right? So that's actually tied for the best mark in the NFL over the last 3 games. So when you look at those things alone, it could be a Chiefs massacre. The spread in this one is Kansas City minus 7.5. Over-under is 48. So Vegas has some confidence in Jordan Love. Vegas just probably has some less confidence in the Chiefs defense, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to take the Chiefs to win a close game. I think Jordan Love loses, but I think he plays well enough to get Packers fans mildly excited. Catch 22. I think, I think Packers fans should be hoping for this too, that maybe they get another look at him next week because Rodgers, getting another week off wouldn't hurt and he'd be fine coming back. And then you get 2 looks at him. Maybe maybe you just, strategically just say, hey, Rodgers, sit out 2 games, make sure you're all rested up and ready for the stretch run. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to take Kansas City to win this game. I'm going to take them to win it 28. I think this can be – the Packers' defense, by the way, has been playing well.
Yes, they have.
Lately, particularly.
It's really the only thing keeping them in games, honestly.
Let me check their points per game over the last 3 real quick, if you don't mind. Okay, they are allowing 15 points a game over the last 3 weeks. Over the last 3 games. So that's a very, very, very good number. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win it 28-21. I think it's a close one. And I think Jordan Love plays well. I think he is on 4th and goal. He goes for it. It's an incomplete pass. The Chiefs win at the last second. He's under pressure, all that kind of stuff. So Packers to cover by a half point, over by 1 point. Chiefs.
What's the over-under?
It's 48.
Okay. Well, I think this is going to be an Aaron Jones kind of game. I think he's going to rely on him a lot, especially
I agree.
Throwing out of the backfield. Or catching on the backfield, I should say, for Aaron. But, yeah, I ultimately still think that the Chiefs win this one at home. I think that offense gets back to where we've seen them or what we've seen out of them the last few years. They get back on track.
I agree.
I'm going the over.
Okay.
30-20.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough. All right. 7-1 Arizona Cardinals coming off their first loss of the season and a mini bye with a 10-day rest or so at the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers. The Cardinals are the road favorites by 2.5 points. The over-under is 45.5 in this game. Now remember, just 4 weeks ago, Arizona beat the Trey Lance-led 49ers 17-10. 4 games ago, and now, so these 2 teams scored a combined 27 points against each other a few weeks ago. Now the over-under is almost double that. Well, it's not quite double that, but it's 45.5. So I think that this right here is a game that I think the 49ers could win, and I think they really need it because it would be one of those games, just like the Giants, one of those catapult you type of games where you go in there, you stun the team that was just undefeated. Now they lost 2 in a row. Now you have a chance to really put some doubt into the mind of the Cardinals players and coaching staff in terms of or at least maybe not doubt, but like you have a chance to kind of dim their torch. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Well, the thing about it is Kyler going to play in this game? I mean, he didn't practice today.
He didn't?
No, he didn't. I mean, tomorrow's practice is going to be telling, but
he'll play. I think he'll play.
I mean, Cliff already came out and said that he doesn't need to practice to play in this game.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And they're saying that, it's looking as if he will play, but,
tomorrow, if he doesn't practice tomorrow, then I'll be a little bit more concerned. But ultimately, I think he'll play, and I think he'll be limited in terms of, like, his ability to run around. I think they'll have more of a Kyler just stay in the pocket. If
hand the ball
punt
off to
is not a
Edmonds.
bad thing, right? If we have to punt it a few times, it's not a bad thing. So the other side of this, right, is with Kyler being a guy that is not going to be at least at full go, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's also playing. Jonathan Taylor's going crazy. I just got to update on my phone. My God. Anyways, he's also playing against the 49ers team that has a really good run defense, and that also apparently matches up pretty damn well against Arizona, because when they played 4 weeks ago, the 49ers became the only defense in the NFL to hold them fewer than 30 points, and they actually held them to under 20. They only allowed 17. So, that right there should tell you something about the way the Niners are defending Kyler Murray right now, because if you look at the even 2020, the Niners were pretty damn good in the way they defended them in those games as well. So we'll see. Ultimately, this is another upset pick for me, man. I'm taking the 49ers. I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to steal this one, to keep hopes alive. Kyle Shanahan has had a bad season so far, in my opinion. I think he turns it around. I think he has the game of his life as a play caller here. I think, for some reason, I just have a feeling Trey Lance is going to get on that field, in terms of, like, he might even surprise start or some shit. I don't know. But in any case, I think that the Niners win this game. They win it 21-17.
I'm going Cardinals.
Oh,
sorry.
We were both going to the Niners for a
Burst
second
your
there.
bubble there.
I know, right?
Cardinals, 24-17.
Okay, so we both like the under. Anyways, 6-2 Tennessee Titans at the 7-1 LA Rams. This one I'm excited for. The Rams.
Tough loss, though.
What do you think the line should be in this one? How many points should the Rams be favored by? Don't look.
I'm not looking. I'm thinking. I don't know. 7 points.
Jesus, that was a good guess. It's 8. The Rams are 8-point favorites. The over-under is 53.5. I felt like 8. And believe me, there's nobody that underestimates Derrick Henry's. I think that he is really valuable. But the Titans are 6-2. They're on a roll, and they.
Yeah, but it's in L.A. I mean,
but it's 8. 8.
Yeah, I think
That's insanity.
I don't know if that covers, but if it gets down to 7,
I mean, it could easily cover, but just the way that lines generally, make. I mean, look, the Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites against the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? So, like, 8, that's wild.
Now they got Von Miller on defense. It's
true. That's true, and the Titans do have an issue.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you're right. Vegas might know something we don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
No. Vegas does.
Yeah, they always do. Yeah. I think that the biggest issue here for the for the Titans is the balance that the Rams bring at you, right? They can run the ball. It's an offense a lot like the Cowboys, where they can, if you play us in that too high look, we're just going to run it on you, and we're going to do so successfully and efficiently. If you try and play us straight up, or if you try and load the box, we're going to dice you up with Kupp, Woods, Van Jefferson. It's pick your poison. You know what I mean? That's the issue. The only thing that I think could really put the Titans in a position to kind of steal this game, and keep in mind, I do think it'll be close, is if Sean McVay was to come out there and just say, like, what the Bills did basically the last 2 times they played the Titans, like, we're just going to throw the ball all over the yard, and you just throw into a team that's making it their prerogative to not let you throw. You know what I mean? So I think that would be the only risk. I don't think Sean McVay will do that, because despite, the perception of Sean McVay, he's very much a run balanced 50-50-ish kind of guy.
Henderson's going to get his in this one.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
Kupp, of course.
I think, so who do you like in this one real quick? Because I'm checking something before I make my pick.
I like the Rams.
Okay, and what's your, what are you thinking in terms of points.
I'm going. Well, without Derrick Henry, it's going to be tough for them to score points. I'm going 30-17.
I'm going 30-20 Rams. I'm going 30-20 Rams. I think ultimately Darrell Henderson has here's a bold prediction for this week. Darrell Henderson has his best game of the season.
Wow.
125 yards, 2 touchdowns for Darrell Henderson. 125 rushed yards.
I mean, it's very doable, especially at home.
Because I just think the Titans are going to be in that mode where they want you to run the ball because they don't want to deal with Stafford and all those guys. And I think Sean McVay's like, all right, we'll take that.
Yeah.
And I think they'll gash him because the Titans are allowing 4.6 yards to carry on the ground this year. So, I like the Rams. What did I say? 30-20 is final score. So that's also the under because I don't think the Titans are going to be able to score that many points. Like this Rams defense is very good. You just mentioned they got Von Miller. The Titans can't pass protect. The biggest beneficiary of their pass protection this season has been Derrick Henry because the play action pass. Now teams aren't worried about your running ability unless Adrian Peterson goes out there and balls, which is possible, I suppose. He's been well rested. But anyways, I like the Rams with you. I'm with you on that one. 30-20. I like them to cover, and I like the under because I always like the under. All right, the Monday night game.
Bears at Steelers.
Yeah, the 3-5 Bears at the 4-3 Steelers. The Steelers are 6.5-point favorites. Over under in this one, 40 points. I think they got that right. I think that's a pretty good over under in terms of where it should be. Just off the top of my head, and both defenses are very good. You know what I mean? Like the Bears, don't be fooled by the amount of points they let up to Tampa the other week. That was because they turned the ball over 5 times and they couldn't do shit offensively.
Yeah.
When you do that, it makes the other team score more points because they're shorter fields, they get more possessions, et cetera, et cetera. So Tom Brady didn't have his best game at all in that one. And, I just think that I just really believe that the Chicago defense is damn good, but I also think the Steelers defense is a really good one.
And they're playing good football right now.
Yeah. So
but I'm just terrified for Fields against TJ Watt.
Yeah. I mean,
with TJ Watt, he has at least 1 sack in 5 of his 6 games while forcing 3 fumbles and recovering 2 others.
Yeah.
The guy is an absolute monster.
He's the best edge rusher in football.
Yeah,
in my
sure.
opinion. Maybe the best defense. Well, no, Aaron Donald. But anyways,
yeah.
What has Ben Roethlisberger done lately? Because that's what's been to me. 2 things are crucial for this Pittsburgh Steelers team in terms of what they've done lately. Number 1 has been that Ben, and I'm pulling up his stats real quick so I can not talk out of my ass here. Ben lately has not turned the ball over much. I know that. So let's see. In the last 3 games, and they have won all 3, Ben has 0 interceptions in that time. Okay, 0 interceptions. He's lost 2 fumbles, but you get the point. He's not throwing picks. Only 2 turnovers in 3 games. That's not bad. He has also been averaging 33 pass attempts per game. I really like that. You know what else I like? I like that Najee Harris has been running the football. He's been getting the football, and he's been pounding, and they've been. He's one of those guys that needs it 20-something times a game because that's who he is.
Yes.
He's a 230-pound beast that can make you miss, can also run you over, can also catch. What was he targeted 19 times in that one game? This dude can do it all. And remember all those people that were saying, oh, the Steelers are so stupid. They drafted a running back in the first round and they don't have a good offensive line. Well, guess what? That's why. Because this motherfucker, not only is he producing at an extremely high level, but he's been a fantasy stud. The guy has a 100-yard receiving game. As I mentioned earlier in that game, he was targeted 19 times. He's been huge. And I mean huge for them. And because they've started giving him the 20-plus carries a game, Ben Roethlisberger has miraculously stopped turning the ball over, right? I mean, he's not stopped throwing interceptions at least. So those things are what I really like about the Steelers and what they're doing lately, and I don't see any reason that doesn't continue. I mean, quite honestly, I don't know. Like, let's check on this Bears run defense real quick, if you guys. So the Bears run defense is Oh, this is an issue.
They've been getting dominated.
Yeah, they're 25th.
Yeah.
They're 25th against the run in terms of yards per carry.
Yeah, they got picked apart last week.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to handle them because here's the thing. The Bears, in my opinion, won't be able to score more than 17 against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
And so Pittsburgh's going to get to 24. I think they win 27. Okay, I think they win 24-13. I think it's that kind of game.
That is my exact same prediction.
Okay, so that would be the under and a Pittsburgh cover
for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields could play up his mind, but not likely.
No, it's just.
And if he does, they have a chance. But
and he had a really good game last week or he had one of his best games of the season.
Yeah,
in a loss to San Francisco.
I want to see the guy do well because I like Justin Fields as a person. I mean, I think
he's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. So, but yeah, I mean, Steelers all the way in this one.
Yep. So I honestly, I'll even give Fields some type of optimism in this game. I think that he'll have a game where he throws one or fewer interceptions. I think it'll be that kind of game. I think he'll complete in the 2 to 65% of his pass range.
Didn't he have 100 yards rushing last week?
Yeah, he was really dynamic on the ground last week. He was awesome. And I think that's what we need to see more of.
Yes,
and
for
didn't
sure.
Matt Nagy not play last week or not coach last week? Wasn't he out with COVID? And miraculously, Justin Fields gets on the field and starts running the football, has 100 yards rushing. Let the kid run. Let Trevor Lawrence run. Let Trey Lance run.
That's what they do.
That's what they can do that, and they can run while they develop as pocket passers, as NFL pocket passers. Right. So, anyways, but we both like the Steelers. We both like them 24-13. So that'll be it for this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be shortly after this, the Start Sit pod will be coming out. So
be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also, leave a comment what you think your favorite matchup is for this week. Also, get your Start Sit questions in, and we will get them all answered before kickoff on Sunday.
Yeah, and if you guys did not leave a Start Sit on the Instagram sticker question, then I can't guarantee I'm going to answer it in the Instagram DMs, but what I can guarantee is if you ask the questions in any of the YouTube comments, I will make sure to answer them, because that would be you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing. I'm trying to get caught up in the Instagram DMs, so I just can't guarantee that, but I am paying extra attention to the YouTube comments, so comment.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.